Money falls down, I pick it up. Money falls down, I pick it up. Come on, y'all. For a preacher is a baller, hula doors. And you can't get out and can't get out. Come on, y'all, help me. Come on, bring that money. Money falls down, I pick it up. Money falls down, I pick it up. Come on, y'all. For a preacher is a baller that hula doors. And you can't get out. Come on, Saints, bring that money on up here. Money falls down. McClever's Thoughts podcast with Punchie. How y'all doing? Sweating kind of hard today, y'all, because a good day. Feeling good today. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Just relaxing with their families, their loved ones. Keep it safe. I just want everybody to really enjoy those weekends, man, because you need them, man. You got to think about it on work days. Be stressful, man. Having this objective you got to do, you got this task you got to accomplish, and sometimes it's just mind-blowing. And a lot of times we don't want to wake up in the morning and get out of that bed and go to those places that provides our income. No, we don't want to do it, but we have to, because that's what keeps us afloat. That's what keeps us from starving, keeps us sane, because we definitely don't want to count on nobody else, man. So be thankful for having a job to go to. Be thankful for being able to provide for your family and not count on no system. Be thankful for, having a peace of mind that you establish, Especially the person that's just been doing what they're supposed to been doing and been paying attention to their assets growing over the years, man. Shouts out to you, and continue to be that uplifting person, because most people that's like that are the what they call the breadwinners in their families. Like, those the ones that everybody know got something. They gonna call you everybody. They're the ones got to duck you. they watch the phone a lot to see who calling them. They scan the phone a lot, man, because everybody know they doing it. Everybody know they got something going for themselves, And I feel like it's just people in the world that's like that, No matter how much they fall, they don't worry about it, because they just got that golden touch. Like, they gonna be back up again. It's people like that in this world, man. Like, they usually other people, like I say, that people count on, So if you are that person, kind of look at it as a good thing that you're not on the end of somebody, you having to ask somebody for something. I always say I'd rather be on the end of people asking me for something than to be on the end of me having to count on and ask somebody else for something. That's not no good feeling. Ain't gonna never be no good feeling, you with your homeboys and looking sad over there and they gotta buy you something to eat. Ain't gonna never be no good feeling. It'll never be no good feeling. Even when you with your girl and, you're like, dang, man, she gotta pull out a wallet and buy you something to eat all the time. That ain't gonna be no good feeling. I don't care what nobody say, that's never gonna be a good feeling. God bless the child that has his own, man, and everybody should want to have their own, man. Even if it's tough for you mentally to see that, just constantly keep pushing through to want to be that person, man, like, because it's really important, But let's just think about the people that do help us out the most, and usually that comes from your parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're the ones that most of us can count on us the most, When the world give up on us, shit, especially mama don't never give up in most cases, Now, I know everybody ain't got the best relationship with their mama, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say at least 95% of the world have a relationship with their mama, you know what I'm saying? So, mamas love their kids no matter what. Mama, in most cases, moms, especially if mama been guiding you from a child, she knows her child. I was watching the Emmett Till movie, and that's how she knew her son. She she died, set his whole body from a child. And it was like certain things with his legs, you know what I'm saying? Towards his ankle, towards his feet, is what she remembered, and what she knew, that's how she knew that was her son, you know. So those mothers have that intuition, man, you know, and they mothers have that care and that love and that bond and that chemistry with their children like no other, man. I kind of like always like to compare true love to a mother's and a child's bond, you know, like the umbilical cord. Like I want a connection with a woman, like a mother has a connection with her child during the birthing process, like the umbilical cord. You know, that connection is that mama can feel what the child feel, the child can feel what the mama feels. So that connection is true, man. So that's what kind of connection you would want to have with your significant other. Like, you want to feel what they feel. You want to see what they see. You want to understand what they understand. Because chemistry is always going to be the key. Which leads me to talking about Jaden Daniels. Mama. I'm going to talk about Jaden Daniels' mama a little bit. I look at it, you know, I saw the situation with her and Jaden at the basketball game with Juju Watkins. And I agree, Juju is not a scallywag. She ain't no out there chick. You know, that's a different type of as a woman. But it's a young girl becoming a woman. I also looked up their ages. You know what I'm saying? Jaden 24 and Juju 19. So mom could have knew that too and kind of seen that as a red flag as well. I have no problem with her being a part of her, being over her son's life. Now, I do have a problem with her. You know, I felt like she kind of embarrassed them a little bit at the game. You know, front and center, mister. You know, mama came in, she was like auntie and that's why I think people was saying that Juju and Jada were cousins in the comments, because Jada mama made them look at the game. It was like a little bit of children. Jada mama made them watch the game head, front, and centered. So, but outside of that, man, I have no problems with what Jada mama is doing. She is managing his career. She's making sure that he's being put in the right position. And hey, we might know something, we might don't know something that she does know, you know, about her child, you know, which I feel like it's just showing how much she love her son, how much she been in tune with her son. I'm pretty much can go out on a limb, and it's just me, you know, used to coaching football, you know, on a high school level, going to those 7-on-7s. It was a lot of those mamas out there, man, out there critiquing those games and making sure those kids go to those camps and making sure those kids have every single thing you need. Daddies might not always be supportive of that. Let them just keep it real. Some daddies don't even come into the Joker's life until they become superstars. It's the mamas that, you know, making sure they have everything they need. I can go back to when I was playing Little League. Shoot, it was my mama that was signing me up for that stuff. It wasn't my dad. I'm just keeping it a buck. Not throw no shade at my daddy, but it was my mama making sure I did all that stuff. And then when she couldn't be there, but she went, you know, but she made sure I was a part of it. And that's in most cases. I just seen a post. Well, I've been seeing this post. Well, the mother was teaching her son how to play guard, offensive line and defensive line. So yeah, it's a lot of these mothers, and a lot of people don't know. And I constantly have these conversations with my friend about this situation. That it's the mamas that's putting these boys in certain positions, and these mothers are literally, you know, learning the business. Like, they are literally learning the business. You go back to Megatron. Megatron mama was his manager. Bow Wow mama was his manager. Now, I'm not saying every mother is the greatest mother in the world when it comes down to business, but the simple fact that you have that respect for your mother to even say, because it is still his choice to say, hey, mom, come do this for me. Come make sure that everything, you know, stay afloat. Man, we got to commend that. They keep it in the family. You know what I'm saying? And that's not an entitlement situation. Like Brun and Brunny's situation, but I ain't gonna go into that. But, you know, when you really look at the bigger picture behind the mother's being, you know, making sure that her son's career it stays afloat, I don't have no, you know, problem with that. That's your first disciplinarian. You know, your parents are your first teachers. You know, like I say, your first disciplinarians. You know, and you trust that. So shouts out to Jalen Daniels and his moms for the relationship that they have, and to continue to build on the legacy that they are trying to establish within their households. A lot of us need mothers like that. Some people wish they had mothers, and I'm pretty sure some of them guys a lot of these guys that go to the NFL, and y'all gotta look at some of these backstories, man. It's a lot of those kids. One year, shoot, everybody's story was sad. You know, they were homeless. They was getting drafted. Everybody's story was sad. A lot of them kids was homeless. Some of the guys don't even have mothers. I was just watching Mari Gibbs' story. His grandma raised him. You know. Not his mama. He was homeless. They was homeless. You know, he had to get adopted by a family that really seen that he was a good kid. So, you know, a lot of kids don't come out of, you know, households with good mothers. Hell, a lot of us come out of single parent households. So you know when you're coming out of the best teachings all the time. So to actually have a mama and that boy have a relationship with his mama like that and respect his mama like that, he ain't finna disrespect his mama. So mama look like she don't play. so you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's a good thing that his mother is really, you know, pretty much taking control of his career, and he's allowing it. And I think they say Lamar Jackson pretty much in the same situation, man. Let them boys that they that's why I think society issue is too. Like we feel like we should grow up, like especially in our culture, black culture. It's like we hear when we turn 18, like you're grown and you should go out there and just, you know, find yourself in it, but not realize still a teenager. So there's a lot of learning they got to do. So when I see mothers like that, you know, I think it's mothers like, nah, you still my baby. You still got a lot of learning to do. And yeah, you grown, but you ain't growner than me. And I'm gonna make sure you be on the right track. And those be good boys, man. Like, I think people don't like mama boys. Like, mama boys are good things. Those are the people those are the guys that's gonna respect you and respect society. And because if they got good mothers, their mother's gonna teach them that. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it from that perspective more than anything. And like I said, it's my own personal opinion. And it goes to show that this is why, you know, if we continue to, if we focus on a method like Jaden Daniels, the mother is really, you know, being a part of her children, her son's life, then we'll see that, you know, society being a better place because we'll have more parents interested in their kids' natural talents and natural abilities. And that's important to me. That's why I say your parents are your first teachers. Your parents are the kids' first teacher, are they children's first teachers. You know, you supposed to understand what they naturally good at and what they naturally should be, you know, evolved in. You know, you got kids out here that's gymnastics, but if they parents are not paying attention to that and tell them you need to go get a job, you know what I'm saying? And then what parents got this thing with what a job is? Like, I was just watching a post, and I was watching the Pivot, and one parent was talking about being a gamer, and they was like, not being a gamer is not a job. one of the people talking about, and I'm like, what? People making millions of dollars off of this. How being a gamer is not a job? And it's like, you won't support your kids in something that they passionate about, even though you may not see it as something as of a light and of magnitude of being successful, but it's so much stuff to be successful. People skateboard and Tony Hawk, and you're a millionaire for just skateboard. So you can find the smallest things in life to become famous or to create success from. So when people put this stigma on how success should be and how, you know, it troubles me because it's like you taking away from some people's dream, or some people pecking order in life. Like, everybody's not made to do the same thing. Like, it's somebody supposed to be here to literally study answers. It's somebody supposed to be here to literally study trees. You know, you can't look at their job and say, man, you don't do nothing but just talk to a tree all day. Okay, but by him talking to that tree, it's understanding how the air and stuff being clean. You know what I'm saying? If you never had him, then you wouldn't understand how none of that other stuff transition from how the trees help out the earth. So everybody's job is not going to be the same. Everybody's not going to see it the same way. So you shouldn't put that pressure on your child to say, hey, I want you to be what I want you to be. But what if they passionate about being this? How much of a support are you? You're supposed to be their support system. You know, especially when they passionate about wanting to be something, and you see that it is something that's stimulating to them. It's something that keeps them sane. Why not support that? You know, I always had an issue when parents tell their kids, be a doctor. You know what I'm saying? But then don't help the child become a doctor. Like, why not go get your child a mentor, you know? Why not go get your child somebody that really can give them the information that they need, or take them to some type of camp or something that helps them become that type of person, instead of just saying, you know, if you work hard and you do all you have to do to be successful, you can be a doctor. That ain't helping that child out, man. That's just telling them to go discover some shit that gonna be hard for them to discover. And parents gotta stop doing that, man. You have to position your kids to fulfill the desires of their hearts. I got a homeboy right now, a little boy. He want his son to be one of the greatest football players in the world. But I'm just telling him, you gotta position him in that. You gotta put him in that position. Don't just count on him, even his talent. Don't just count on his talent to just take him. Assist his talent. Assist his talent. You know, put him in the position. You know, you see his talent. Don't just see the talent and think it's supposed to just work for itself. Assist the talent. Assist the talent. I'm going to keep saying it. Assist the talent. Don't just watch the talent, and don't just hope the talent, you know, make it to Vegas on its own. Assist the talent. And it don't have to be a parent to do that. It don't have to take a parent to do that. If the parents don't want to do it, y'all see it, y'all do it. If your heart allow you to do it, you see a kid's talent, or you see it ain't got to be no kid. It could be a grown person's talent. Support that talent. Support it. Support that talent. You know, I have a thing what I do with my women that when I date them, and the women that I have to date will tell you, if you know. I like to get them like little projects to work their minds, or I do something I pay attention to them, something that I know, especially women that like to push that anxiety stuff, man. I gotta go head on with that. You know what I'm saying? But I got something for that too. You know what I'm saying? I study her. I pay attention to her. It can be a game. It can be a puzzle. It can be something that, you know, something we gotta put together. But my number one objective is to stimulate her mind. That's it. To get her away from looking at something as an illness and get more into looking at the healing aspects of that. You know, sometimes our mind be so geared to what hurt us, and we get far away from what deliver us from that hurt. You know, so I love to do exercises with the women that I'm dating to put them in that mindset to where they're not even thinking about the things that defile them or the things that hurt them or depress them. They're more so geared towards the things that's, you know, energizing them and fulfilling them and healing them, you know. That's very important to me. And it's not just women. I'm just giving them more of an example. I do that even with my homeboys. Like, I'm always trying to create an environment where I know that this is something that's bringing us peace and some type of enlightenment versus something that we're constantly catering to. Oh, this is why this is bad, why that's bad, and this is bad, and that's bad. Solutions is very important because that minimizes issues, you know. So we have to have a mindset that geared towards solution versus we continue to dwell on the problems because it'll never be solved. Continue to dwell on the problems, you know. So I have another question, and this question is something geared towards dating. I have talked to numerous people over the week, and one of the things that was brought up is why women say when men, why women say they on the interview when men ask them multiple questions about them. And it's crazy to me because I done been in that situation numerous of times where I have asked women questions about themselves, and eventually the woman say, "Well, God, what is this, an interview?" And it's like, well, hell, how am I supposed to get to know you if I don't ask you questions? I was always taught in order to really get to know somebody, you have to ask them questions. Like you can't assume who a person is because that's more disrespectful to assume. And what they say, you make an ass out of yourself when you assume. So you have to ask questions to really know people. So it kind of puzzled me. And I can go so many different thoughts of why people don't want, why women feel like this is a interview. But I just want more perspectives in the comments down below. But I would just give one perspective. I think people's number one objective is just not wanting to feel embarrassed. I think that's the number one objective. Not wanting to feel embarrassed. Not wanting to feel like they not on the same person's level. I think those what it really centered around. When you get people who, or when women feel like a man is asking too many questions. I think you starting to make the woman feel like, hey, he might not like me if I tell him this. He might not like me if I if I say this, if I say that, or it might not be good enough for him. So it's more so like a lot of women like that with that mentality. It's like, let's just let it, play out by itself, you ain't got to get to know a person all in one day. It's like, I'm not trying to get to know you all in one day, but I am trying to get to know if this is beneficial for me. So I guess it's a catch-22 to it. Y'all leave y'all thoughts on it. Why women feel like it's an interview when a man asks her a whole lot of questions about her. Outside of that, I hope everybody have a wonderful weekend. Continue to have a wonderful weekend. I hope somebody got a message up out of this post. For those new subscribers, and y'all hit that like button. For y'all older subscribers, y'all hit that like button. And I'll catch y'all probably next week sometime. Until then, y'all be blessed. And remember, pray for me, not pray on me. And I'm going to add something else to it. Oh, a smile ain't hard to find. I mean to say a smile ain't hard to find. Take care, man.